One of the greatest threats would be radioactive fallout.
Uranium fever.
Where
Fallout is heaviest, it can even kill those who have not taken proper shelter.
Broadcasting deep underground in a questionably constructed survivalist bunker is Dave Chaffins and Kenneth Vigue. And your host, as always, Mr. Robots. This episode of the Fallout Hub is brought to you by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Open enrollment for advanced robotics courses starts now. Totally nothing sketchy going on. Nope, not at all.
All right, boys, we're back. Welcome to the Fallout Hub. Attempt number 2 this week. We tried to get together yesterday at our normal time, Tuesdays, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, in order to discuss all of the finest things about Fallout 76 and the Fallout TV show and the 3 leaked images of Starfield. But we were unable to because of technical difficulties. So we are back on a Wednesday in order to do the show. So thank you for joining me, everybody. Thank you for being here. I am your host, Tom or Robots, and this is the unofficial official show of the 3 images of Starfield, the Fallout TV show, and Fallout 76. And with me this week, as usual, we have Ken and Dave. Ken, how's it going?
It's going well. I just finished the score for the 3 images leaked from Starfield, the musical. It's going to be something else, let me tell you.
I'm very excited for this. Yes, I've been doing a crochet piece based around the first of the 3 images. Dave, what have you been doing about these 3 images from Starfield?
I have been looking. Okay, so if you have an 8K TV or even a 12K TV, if you hold it up and display it, but you've got to make sure you've got it in low dynamic range mode. It's a whole different thing. Invert the colors, and it's going to tell you that Todd was here. It has a graffiti.
Wow. Oh, very cool. I opened up the images on my old 1992 PC that runs Windows, the first version of Windows, very, very, very slowly. But if you remember Paint from that version of Windows, it only has 4 colors. And in that view, you can see a few anomalies where there are some pixels that spell out the words soon.
Wow.
I don't know what it means. But welcome. We're not here to talk about Starfield. Lots of people have been talking about Starfield and blowing that news out of proportion. We are here to talk about Fallout 76. And guys, we have some patches to discuss. And by patches, I don't mean the cute little toy dog with the piece, like the fluffy. Isn't there one called patches? Never mind. Let's talk about Fallout 76 patches. Dave, I know you are the man on the street.
I am the man on the street. Another day, another dollar, another dime, another rhyme. Here I am, gonna give you the latest news.
Let's get into it.
Let's all be real here. This isn't the latest news. I don't exactly have the quote unquote like down to the dollar, down to the minute kind of stuff. But we often ride without our listeners for a week, so I gotta go back. I got to make sure all the lights are out. Got to go and read all the news stories and bring them back here and dilute them into their most concentrated forms. And I have to tell you, this week there will be a double score weekend, October 1st to the 5th.
My body's ready. I'm so ready for this.
Yeah.
I would say don't miss. Like, look, here's the great thing about the scoreboard, and here's secret to my success 101. My just in general success. Look at the calendar, the community calendar, and look for those weekends that they have the double score, the double challenges, the double dips and dabs will do you casual situation. And plan on playing or getting a few of those done, like before bed. It's good to knock out a few of those if you're just got a little extra time. Those always propel me forward in ways that I don't really imagine.
Oh yeah, me too.
So
you don't really imagine them?
I mean, I couldn't imagine before that I would be propelled on a digital scoreboard, but I am. after participating in the double weekend events.
Well, last time this happened, we were propelled through the scoreboard on like a little rocket ship.
That's true. What are we riding now?
Nothing. I think we're just kind of that little arrow. Like
I'm currently riding on the Great
ticks
Space
around.
Coaster.
Yeah, you got that song playing. I can hear it. Roller coaster.
It's the Great Space Coaster, demonetized on the Great Space Coaster. I'm not going to do that again.
That's amazing. I want a recording of that. Let's start a band. Let's do it. Let's do
it. Let's do it. What do you want to play? What are you going to play? Pick an instrument.
Spoons. I'm good.
You can play the spoons? We got spoons. What are you playing, Ken?
I'm going to play the wine glass.
Wine glass? You're gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna go around it.
There we go.
All right, I'm doing the mouth harp because that's my favorite instrument in 76. Spoons, wine glass, mouth harp band. Classic trio.
Oh, he got it.
There we go.
Wow. Oh man.
Great Space
My goodness.
Coaster, come on by to the Great Space Coaster.
All of our songs are only in one key, and it's whatever that note is right there.
I'm impressed that on the fly you were like, all right, I'm gonna get this, and you did it. You did it, my friend. What is that white wine?
I don't know if our
What is
audio
that,
listeners.
Chardonnay? Riesling?
This is a Gewürztraminer.
Yeah, how large is the
Gewürztraminer.
glass? How much is it filled? Somebody can replicate this at home. I think our listeners at home who aren't watching the live stream are going to wonder if that is actually a special effect or if he's doing this in person. I can tell you, friends.
I can tell you.
He's doing this for real. He's holding it up in front of the camera and doing it. I'm not even joking. Like sometimes I joke about this stuff, but like I'm not joking.
I used to play songs in Boy Scouts, because that was my skill. But I used
with
to
wine?
No. Well, not with wine, with water. But I actually used to play glasses in Boy Scouts on stage. It was a thing.
Well, you have all these old videos, so I'm sure we can dig something up here.
No, I made very sure that they didn't exist online.
Let's see. The train. I don't even know if we're on a train, but it's off the track, so we're gonna ring that little baby back in. Let you know the next piece of news, which is public test servers. They have reopened and they are testing the new shelters feature. So shelters, which we have revealed here on the Fallout Hub back in the summer, months and time do not matter, but we had Mark and Ferret on here from Bethesda to talk about some of the different interesting things, and they talked to us about shelters. Shelters are essentially an instance little area inside your camp that you can build, and it has its own separate budget. And in this one, they're going to be testing, I think, 3 different options that come in varying sizes, layouts, and styles.
Ooh.
Are you all excited for the shelters?
I really am.
I am. I just don't like doing the test servers because I feel like the amount of time that I have to play is limited. And if I'm going to do it in like pretend world, then I might as well just wait till it's actually out in like real fake world, real. It might be double fake. Some people think we're in a simulation in 76. So what I'm saying is instead of doing it in fake world, I'd rather do it in real fake world.
Fake world.
If that makes sense.
Like I have since beta, I haven't done the private test server since. I'm going to do it for this just because I think one of us should really check it out, get in there and explore. I was hoping it would be out today. It's supposed to be sometime this week, so maybe tomorrow. Who knows?
I think I'm curious of how it all is implemented and what do you think will be some of the types? I think there's got to be like a vault tech, like vault style shelter, like in the vault.
You don't think they're all just going to be like 3 different sized basements, and then you just kind of customize them however you want by like adjusting the walls and the internal parts?
They did have that teaser image from the community calendar of a vault, so the theory is that we're going to get a relatively small personal vault of some kind. I'm really hoping we do, because that was one of the coolest DLCs in Fallout 4. You could actually build your own vault. I loved being able to do that.
Yeah, I'm curious of what that, if they're going to do like they'll probably do, I guess, like a junkyard. Like I'm curious what the themes are going to be, because it seems like they're talking about 3 different ones, and I'm like, what's different about the shelters? And I guess it's got to be something in like how they're constructed, or if in my head it's like the only thing I can think of is themes.
Yeah, I just assumed that it was like size choices.
Mm.
Like, if you wanted, do you want like a big, huge cavernous space, or is that too much? Do you want something kind of like a little basement to your building, or do you want something kind of in between? And we just lost Chad, or not Chad. I'm sorry, Craig.
Chad.
Craig,
will...
Chad. Too many letters are similar there.
Craig, why?
Oh,
Now
Craig's back.
recording.
Wow, that's amazing. Back to it. It's always happening. This is the piece of news that we got wrecked on yesterday. And it's
cursed. It's cursed. It's like
cursed.
See, this is the problem. Dave and I have been watching Lovecraft County, and those monsters are just following us in here, cursing our stuff.
Cursing. There's a lot of
Curse. They're just cursing. They're just cursing all our stuff.
Todd,
there's a coven that's out to get us.
It's Todd.
It is almost October, and everybody knows that Halloween is on October, which means it's the witching month.
Here's a good question. We should, or not a good question. Here's a statement and a fact and something that we're going to do. We should dress up for Halloween. That would be fun. Like, on the podcast.
I'm actually going to do that on my stream anyway, too.
I don't have much in the way of costumes.
Okay, that doesn't, I don't have much in the way of costumes, but I have much in the way of imagination, and I'm sure you do, and I believe in you, Tom.
Tom can do it.
He's a... Are you big dresser upper for Halloween? Was that something that you were into, or are you just kind of like, eh? Are you like on Halloween?
No, I love Halloween. It's probably my favorite holiday. But I'm terrible when it comes to actually, decorating or dressing up. Or I'm not very good at celebrating things. Mm-hmm. I like when other people celebrate things, but I'm not very good at doing it myself. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make any sense. What am I trying to say?
That makes sense. It's like, I
think it's cool to I think it's cool to walk down the street and see, and like we have a community that's very active on Halloween, and some people do like all sorts of awesome stuff in their yards, and I want to appreciate that, but I don't want to spend the time to do it myself because I don't really care.
I'm trying to think of fun.
I don't care what those fools think about my yard.
Yeah. I don't know. I decorated my yard already. I was like, I waited. I'm going to try and do a Fallout costume this year, so we'll see how well that goes.
I'm trying to think. I have I don't know. I'm like, my hair is getting longer here. I might do like a Leon from Resident Evil, and then I'm just going to make corny jokes the whole time and say something like, yeah, that's another one down, or I don't know how he talks, But
no, you sounded exactly like him.
It's me, Leon from the Resident Evil series.
Actually, you know what you sounded like? You sounded like Danny DeVito doing an impression of Leon.
It's Danny DeVito. It's his brother, lost brother.
Donnie DeVito. Donnie DeVito is the brother. Right.
Hey guys, it's me, Leon here. I've got my my corduroy coat I'm gonna wear, and I'm gonna kick some zombies in a roundhouse kick. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I learned. That's what I learned in kung fu class to say when I do a roundhouse kick. Yeah. Yeah, you zombies.
But I'm not sure if that's relevant to Fallout, so I may have to be more creative.
I don't think so. I don't think it is.
Creative with something. So send me your ideas for my Halloween costume that are budget and also don't require very much time and exercise.
I got an idea. I should dress up as a fully functional Deathclaw with like a big old head and like big old arms and stuff. I could do that pretty quick with things around the house, probably.
Yeah, some aluminum foil, maybe some.
Or, I know, if we're talking like budget costumes, I could buy like an on sale Hulk costume because Avengers hasn't come out with anything new recently, right? So some of that stuff's going to be on sale. And then just dress it up like a super mutant.
That's true. I mean, technically, I could cosplay as a 76er and just wear a flannel shirt and jeans because that's an outfit. That's how you cheat. That's how you get to all the Halloween parties. You're like, I dressed up as my evil twin.
I'm just going to duct tape pots and pans to me and go as a discount Brotherhood of Steel person.
I like it. Yeah.
That's your power armor.
Yep.
You have like a pot on your head with like the little handle sticking out.
What's that? Oh yeah, you Brotherhood of Teflon. That's what you would be.
The brothers.
The Brotherhood of Aluminum.
Let's see. We should probably move on. You know, I'm feeling real spicy.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I've been arguing with people on the internet. So let's talk about other stuff.
Yeah, let's we haven't had time. We have time is an ephemeral thing. I like saying things today. And we had this episode with Lone Vault Wanderer in which we had a fantastic interview, and then Bethesda went and announced that they were being bought by Microsoft. And so we had to do a whole episode dedicated to that. But we haven't actually had a chance to talk about patch 22. So I thought that today it might be good to have some discussion around that. Because
let us discuss. Let's discuss.
So I kind of want to open up. Let's open up with a light one here. I don't want to get to some of the heavier stuff yet. Let's talk about legendary perks first. What do you all think about legendary perks? Fortunately, we've had good enough time to play and discuss and talk about it. So what was your reaction to the legendary perk system?
Ken, you want to start?
Sure.
Go for it.
I love it. The way it's kind of twofold, because One Wasteland, which we'll talk about shortly, kind of changed my build quite a bit and nerfed it to heck. So I had to completely redo my build, running a bloodied melee. So I ran Tier, a YouTuber, helped me fix my build, and it worked really well. But on top of that, once you pair some of the legendary perks, you get back to where you were before. I'm not doing obscene amounts of damage like I was before One Wasteland, but the perks that I went with are, and these were some essential ones for melee. Exploding Palm, I have 4 stacked in that, which Exploding Palm at level 4 will give me 20% chance of triggering an explosion or attack hits, which is just a lot of fun as you're just punching things and things are blowing up. So that I enjoy.
Yeah, I have that one too, and I only have it, like, it isn't upgraded yet. So it only triggers every so often. And every time it does, it's like a surprise. I'm just like, oh, that guy exploded. That was fun.
Yeah, Legendary Strength. I have that maxed out, which gives me, it's +5 strength, +5 strength of birth points. Total cap of 15, so it's +15. I have 2 points in Funky Duds. So that's poison damage resist when wearing a matching set of armor. Taking 1 for the team, which was broken. They fixed that recently. There was a scenario in which if you had that enabled, PvP could be triggered whether you wanted it or not. But enemies take 20% or more damage when they attack you if you're on a team. And then lastly was Hack and Slash. That one I really enjoy. So those are my legendary perks that I'm running for melee.
Yeah, my dude's only level 87, my main, because I keep going to these other characters I make. But I've been trying to play that one more and kind of keep leveling him, so I don't have a ton of stuff in legendary perks. But I'm already regretting a little bit of my focus on melee because I got this really fun double shot ultra sight laser Gatling gun, so I've been kind of focusing on that, and that works really well for most of the I call them Black Ops. That's my joke, is that it's Modern Warfare or something. But the daily ops,
Black Ops.
Yeah, the Fallout 76 Black Ops. But so yeah, so in those, because you have to hold down a point and chew through a lot of enemies really quick, using my single shot sniper rifle just doesn't do enough damage fast enough, and you're not sneaking, so you're not really hiding from anything. So I could then go melee, and I was doing melee, but then one of the ones you kill people and they exploded, and I was like, well, melee is not going to work. So then I switched over to my Gatling, and my Gatling chews through things pretty quickly. So that's been my go-to weapon for doing that. The only drawback on that is that, one, I've got perks for hitting things in my legendary perks, so I'm not using those perks on the legendary cards. And 2, it chews through fusion cores, and those are one of the only ammo types you don't get back off the bodies of the things you kill in daily ops. Right. So I'm kind of I'm chewing through a lot of ammo in order to do daily ops, but that's the most fun and fastest way for me to be successful doing that. So it's kind of I've kind of worked myself into a dilemma. I probably just need a different weapon.
Yeah, I've noticed. Oh, go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. I want you to flourish.
I'm doing the same thing as you because even though I'm melee, with daily ops, I'll run my bloodied Gatling plasma, my explosive bloodied Gatling plasma. So I'll use that with ultrasight cores, with the exception of that one daily op where you kind of need melee as the Hadouken finishing maneuver.
Hadouken.
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 You gotta say it like they do. Hadouken.
Oh god.
that was it. You got it. You got that last one.
Oh man, that's good. That's good. Let's see. I have been using Ammo Factory. That's the one that I work in heavy weapons. Yeah. I work in heavy weapons. It's a thankless job. I just put it on the resume. But that has helped with crafting 5mm particularly, and plasma cores. That's mainly what I use. Eventually I'm going to get that perk ranked up enough that it's like I'm going to just prime everything and switch it over to ultrasight, and then I'm like really cooking with grease. The
cooking with ketchup.
Other one cooking with ketchup. Oh yeah, baby. The other one that I'm using,
what I always say,
has been what do you call it? The power. It's like power armor. I forgot. Essentially, it is if you die while you were in power armor, you get a % chance to revive. And so
power armor reboot.
Yeah, power armor reboot. Yep. I have invested some in that, and I never die. As a tank, I wish that the only thing that I wish now, because I've committed to. I mean, yeah, I'm fantastic at this game. Come fight me. No, don't fight me. That would suck. The thing I wish that they had in this game is like a taunt, essentially, because in a daily op that would be helpful to be like, okay, I want more enemies to attack me because not enough enemies are attacking me, and I want everybody to attack me. And I think that would be very useful. But in power armor, I have a Stranglerheart set. Frankly, I have sworn off legendary armor. I had a nice unyielding set, and I was a bloody build, and then I just dived headfirst into this tanky junkies situation. I think the main things that I've actually devoted a lot of interest in are up in my endurance, so I can get lifesaver all the way and fireproof all the way. And then more points into agility. I constantly crave more points into agility because with heavy guns, if you're using VATS, that eats up a lot of AP points every time you try to do that. And VATS is more for targets that I necessarily can't see or I'm too lazy to hit. Because there's a lot of stuff that's like, oh, it's behind that grate. And it's like, when it's dark and dusty, and it's dark and dusty and I can't see anything, I pull out the VATS. And
that's our
with the gun.
That's our band's next hit song right there.
Yeah. So those have kind of what I've been around. Now I have too many agility points, so I have I need to figure out what I'm gonna fill extra spot with. Because there's not a lot of stuff for I don't need to sneak. I don't need to use pistols. So probably, I mean, if I'm rocking power armor reboot and born survivor, then really, I mean, I can't. I'm an immovable mountain. I'm Doom guy essentially. Then
wouldn't it be amazing though if there was like a reboot animation for that, where you just die, you collapse to the ground, and there's like I'm not done yet. It's like crackling electricity.
I like that.
And
I like
the
that. Yeah,
Space Coaster theme plays.
This has been a very musical episode of the podcast.
It has.
We're feeling there's a lot of songs happening. I like the amount of songs happening. So moving on from our legendary perks. There's another one for you.
We need little jingles to play while the show's happening. Our legendary picks of the week.
That's
What was that? What was that?
I feel like there was a ghost in here.
It was Charles Barkley.
Oh, oh. Well, that makes me crazy, like Gnarls Barkley. Now moving on into our next setup. Speaking of legendary perks, and kind of what we were getting on was daily ops. So those are brand spanking new for this patch. So I wanted to talk to you all about what your favorites were. I would assume what your favorite locations are, what your favorite modifiers are. Like, what has been your favorite encounter so far in daily ops?
That's a good question.
Do you like them?
I like daily ops. I like that you can get through them quickly. I like that you can do them with other people. I like that you can do them with randos fairly easy. Mm-hmm. I like that they fill you up on things like stim packs and other stuff. I don't use a lot of the explosives like grenades and things. I'm not spec to use them, but I get how that's a benefit if you are, because there's lots of things and you can just toss them out there and blow stuff up. So maybe that's something to spec into if you want to do lots of daily ops and get through them quick, because it gives you lots of grenades. But yeah, for the most part, I like them. I don't know if I have a favorite. Okay, so if anything, I wish I like that there are a variety of different locations. I've started to really understand how each of the locations is laid out and how to get from one place to another pretty quickly. You know, it only took me a few times on each one to really kind of figure out the pathing. But I want more mutators, more modifiers on the enemies. Like, I find when they are cloaked and they're kind of hard to see, that especially with my double shot lasers, I create this big mist of green light in front of me, and it's very hard to see them again. So that can become difficult. If there's like, and if they're moving around and they're still invisible, then I have to look for the damage numbers to know if I'm hitting them.
Yeah.
I'm like playing number hunts, so that can be a challenge.
I thought it was interesting that first day to have the first one be the one where you can only kill them by melee attacks, and so everyone was complaining. They're like, "This mode is broken.
This is so hard." And it's like, just read the instructions, buddy.
Nobody read the instructions.
Nobody did. No.
Yeah, no, just you got to hit him. Yeah.
I want to just shoot everything.
Yeah, I want more modifiers. I want more combinations of enemies. I love breaking. I love having to hit robots with melee and watching their parts fly off and stuff. Like, I really enjoy just breaking robots apart, but I think it would be really cool to have like robots and some other enemy. I think that I'm sure they're going to continue to expand these things. But like, it would be neat. Like, let's say you're fighting something like a bunch of robots coming at you, and then all of a sudden a super mutant with, you know, like a little one of those little bombs comes running at you, trying to explode, and you got to take him out before he gets to you because he's going to blow you up.
Yeah,
the suicider. Or what if there's like two opposite factions coming at you from different directions, and if they hit each other, they end up fighting each other too. So it's just this crazy melee of you having to deal with, you know, shooting them, but then also, you know, two factions fighting each other, and you're stuck between these laser beams. Yeah, I think there's a lot of variety they could add to it, but I think it's a great start. The thing it reminds me of the most is, and I think they stole the idea of the mutators from World of Warcraft, from the mode where you can play through like a dungeon run, the mythic dungeons, and as you move up in the mythic dungeons, you get more and more of these mutators on the traditional layout of the dungeon and the way the enemies work. So if they were to take that even further, you could have a variety of levels of difficulty in this, where like right now, if you beat it in a certain amount of time, then you get a certain reward tier. And then once you do that for the day, then you just get the basic rewards from that point on. But you could set it up in a way where you get through it in a certain time frame without any mutators on, and you get the basic rewards. And then there's one mutator, two mutators, three mutators, four mutators. And all of a sudden you're fighting against enemies that are invisible, can detect you all the time, have perfect aim, and then also explode, you know, and you have like all of these things all happening at the same time. But now you're doing it at like tier 4, which is going to give you even more rewards. So there's options that they could use to kind of adjust this in different directions. So I think it's cool. Them's my thoughts. What do you guys think?
The timing element to it.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big fan of that, and it makes it so that if you don't like, it's really hard to do. You pretty much can't do the elder, get the elder rank if it's just you solo, and you can do it. I've done it with 2 people, just because of the amount of time it takes for the things to the I guess receiver to charge. Doing it solo, it just creates too much time that you're spent sitting around. But I think it's always fun when you're cutting it a little close. Like if it's like 7 minutes and 50 seconds and that final boss appears, you're like, all right, we need to like pull out we need to pull off a real winner here. And one time I finished it in 7 minutes and 58 seconds, and I was like, oh my
I got you beat. I got you beat. And I need to pull the clip from the stream the other night. Wandering Wastelander and I co-op, like duoed it in 7 minutes and 59 seconds. And we cut it so close, and we just got it. It was really exciting because we were just like, oh, are we gonna get it? All right, he's down. We got it. It was great. It was wonderful, and it was fun because it was like, communal on stream and stuff. So we were all like, yeah, we got it.
I love that there's loot instancing for. They had added for the Earl event, the loot instancing. Is probably it's very, very good. If they could loot instance for everything.
Yes.
I know it's like for any like major challenge, any events, loot instance for that. Just when you're doing your own thing, it's so nice to have that essentially. It doesn't I've tried it with Gatling, obviously with like a Gatling plasma. It's not gonna be like, here's a Gatling plasma core for every single thing you kill. But if you're using like a minigun, I mean, at the end, you spend like 2 minutes after the event's over, just like going back and looking through bodies and just racking up all the different ammo. And you net ammo from completing the event. You net stim packs, so it's like you pretty much allow yourself 10 stim packs to use while you're doing the event. You're just selling rat away because you have so much that you. I mean, there's no like high radiation area that would be interesting as like a modifier, like a crazy kind of radiation situation.
Yeah. So here's an idea. Here's another thought. On the list of weapons we get 3-star weapons out of 5 stars. You can see that there's 5-star potentially, right? And technically you can get a 3-star weapon, maybe modify it with something to push it up to 4 stars. Can you push something up to 5 stars? Is that a thing? Have you ever seen
to do that? I mean, no, okay. not.
I didn't think so. So what that does is it leaves room for a potential 4-star or 5-star weapon drop. What I would love to see happen is instead of putting something like 4-star or 5-star legendaries behind like an Earl run, where if you just get a bunch of bloodied people together and then you drill the dude in the face fast enough, you get the drop and then you get something. It would be cool to put those behind something that's timed like the ops, because then it's dependent on your ability to meet the requirements of the mission,
right? Rather
than just kill things fast. Does that make sense? So like if there are multiple mutators and you have a very specific mission where you have to say finish things with melee weapons, then you have to change your build, and not every build is going to work great, and you have to coordinate with your team, and maybe you have to bring 4 people in and have 2 people guard certain doorways and have 1 person stay in the middle and make sure that you coordinate staying in the circle in order to get the time down to the time that you need, and genuinely make that stuff like almost like a raid or like a trial setup without being a big long trial, like raid kind of thing like we did with the vault. Have it something that you can finish in 8 minutes, but make it really difficult. And then if you are able to pull it off, drop a 4-star or a 5-star. I think that would be a really cool way to do that.
Yeah, I've been playing this game separately called Hades. It's like a roguelike kind of Diablo style game, and each run
it's the people who did Bastion and Transistor. Yeah.
But the way each run they have like a modifier in a particular weapon set. That's like, if you use this weapon, you're going to get 20% more. I think it's like goo or something. It's whatever you're using to upgrade stuff. Yeah, get some goo, 20% more goo. If that's on the label, I'm going to buy that item.
I love that goo.
Gotta love that goo. If they had something like that where they were like, okay, imagine if they did a daily op and they're like, all right, the only thing that's going to be able to kill things are pistols. Like then it becomes like, oh crap.
But you can damage things. You just have to use the pistols to drop them. So then you have to make sure that you have a pistol equipped, and because it's the last bit of damage, it could be the stupidest little crappy pipe pistol. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Like so maybe what you do is you plan, and this is where the coordination comes in. Maybe most of your group is using the regular weapons in order to just drain the health out of everything very quickly, and then you have like one or two of the people in your group who are running around with pistols just finishing everything off, right? And you coordinate it in order to like take them out.
Get one of those pistol packing mamas.
Pistol packing mama.
Lay that pistol down. It's another song.
It's song day. It's probably because it's the witching month. So
it is the witching month. Ken, what did you think about the daily ops?
I love them. They introduced a new variety on a daily basis that changes things up quite a bit. The team, and yes, we know Tech, you can solo it, but for the most part,
great job, Tech. You can do something
Tex
amazing.
He's like, let me flex in the chat.
I
real
can
quick.
solo that.
Like, I do that all day.
Just so the community understands, we're not giving Tech a hard time. Tech is in chat. He's one of our friends.
He's one of our friends.
We all play with him regularly. He's in our Discords. We chat with him. We're not giving him a hard time because we're trying to be mean to somebody in the community or some random person. We're giving him a hard time because he's amazing at this game and everybody knows it. And so yes. So if anybody can solo this, yes, Tech is the one who can. So no, this is a teasing of praise to say like yes.
Jealous.
Yes,
I mean, that's it.
we know you can solo this. Of course you can.
But yeah, we've been running it in teams, and I wish we had our own board somewhere, even if it was tied to our Bethesda.net account, kind of like Battlefield, where you can take a look back and see what your best times were for different modes. Because I keep forgetting to write them down. I know that we've done it in, I think, a little under 4 minutes once in the team that I've been in. On one of them, I can't remember which one, but I love the Valley Galleria has always reminded me of BioShock.
Yes, yeah, it's got that kind of
it has the
feeling to
the
it.
Water and the music and the whole vibe of it. I'd had this idea, and Tech just had this same idea that he pitched in chat. Could you imagine if it was super mutants in there with just hordes of floaters? So you're fighting them with acid attacks, cold attacks, and they explode on you. That would be insane. I love that spot. I'm not a big fan of Harper's Ferry. I don't know why. I find even going to it regularly has been really confusing. I do love going back to Vault 94 and going back in there. Since it was so crazy when we were doing the raids, I didn't get a good chance to enjoy the space. So being able to go back in there and compete in a time where it's not as insane as doing that raid was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like the Burning Mine one because that was the location I didn't find until after I think I finished the main story content. I was like, holy crap, look at this place. This place is wild.
This place is crazy. It's a mine and it's burning. Whoa.
So what do you all, so there's like this, they didn't really talk about it, but there's these rewards that you get for them. Have you all gotten any particularly
Actually, this is how I got my double shot laser Gatling ultrasight gun. This is where I got it from. I've gotten a few other things that I've tried out. I got a mole miner claw and so claws, and it tears through ghouls really fast.
How does that go again?
It goes like this.
Tom just found his costume.
But it doesn't.
That's the one.
But it doesn't go.
It's just gonna be like that. Yeah, you'll be a mole miner. You don't have to change your costume or anything.
What is the sound they make when they die? That is the most pathetic, sorry sound ever. Yeah, that howl of death. That's the worst. We're all putting our hands over our faces for any of our listeners.
For impressions, I think that's our best one that we've done.
That was
the mole miner impression. Yeah. We should have a mole miner announce the intro to the show.
We should all
He
just
should
come
be
as
like,
mole miners.
Welcome to
Ken has the Afghan. I'm sure that me and Tom can remedy something like that, and we all have masks now. So I mean, we can just like
the Afghan.
mask up, get the
Put it over your head.
And
I haven't. I've got
All I
a
need is-
suit jacket over there.
I need the Afghan, and then I need a paper grocery bag. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't have. I need more things around me that I can just pick up and use as props. Here's a battery.
Oh no.
That's not useful. A dice bag. No. All right.
I don't have very many props to actually show. It's just like my trash. Come look at my trash. I have trash here. Rewards, as that's what we were talking about. I really like the people that I'm jealous of the people that have gotten the Spec Ops outfit. I think that looks really interesting, and it reminds me of Metro
I
2033.
love it. Yeah, I have it. And I love it.
I'm jealous. The most I've gotten has been I have like 3 recipes for liquid courage, which I'm not even really sure what that does quite yet because I haven't made any. But I
It's
have the
for
recipe.
Earl.
It
So-
helps you. It helps you approach attractive people.
Oh, it particularly Earl.
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah,
you're, Earl, he's got something going on.
He's got some. I mean, he's got some gray dongles on him.
He does, yeah. If you're a big fan
Mhm,
of someone who
mhm.
just has one very large testicle that makes them scream a lot, he's
Mhm,
your guy.
mhm.
He's the
He's got a
most,
cute little butt.
he's the most eligible bachelor of 2020. We've been inside
I mean-
for a very long time, and look, hey, we can't be picky. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
true. BuddyBot has me running around taking pictures of everything's butts in the wasteland. This is one of the quests that we do. It's kind of our own quest. It's not really a quest in the game. It's BuddyBot's quest for science. At least that's what he tells me. And so whenever we find a new creature whose butts we haven't taken a picture of, we try to take a picture of its butt. And Earl's got a cute little butt.
For science.
Oh, that's what BuddyBot says right there.
This has
For
been a
science.
really weird show today.
This has been very strange. As far as tips, my main tip is just run everywhere, run from this podcast, run in the daily ops. Is the main thing that I'm getting at.
Yeah, get to the button and push the button. Just like don't worry about things, just go, right?
Right. Don't worry about enemies. It's like just run and go. I mean, at that spot, you don't need to kill enemies until the very last objective. So like defending a spot, stick to your spot. Run to the next location.
Yeah,
It's
there
gonna be
are
the same per location, so you're gonna know like you're gonna figure out a pathway or be with somebody that maybe has already done it. So
yeah
you're gonna-
there are a few spots where the circle doesn't contain all the area that you would hope that it does. So what is it? Like the burning mine? There's a metal platform that you can run on, and there's 2 entryways. If you walk to the very corners of those metal platforms so that you can see through the entryways, you're actually out of the circle. So I noticed that. So and you typically want to because you want to hit the enemies as they're coming into the room, but you kind of have to let them get through the doorway first without leaving the circle. Also in the burning mine, another one I noticed is the second point. You have to stay in the lower area. There's a catwalk that goes up to like a higher platform, and there's a lot of enemies that'll camp out up there. But if you run up the catwalk, there's like you have to stay right along the edge in order to be in the circle. Otherwise, you're out of the circle again. So every time you walk out of the circle, you lose the bonus modifier, and then you take longer.
Kenneth, any tips, or just echoing what everybody else has
Yes,
brought
all
to
of
the
it.
table? All of that. Here.
Hadouken!
Slap the table. Hadouken. Moving on to our last bit, and I think the most contentious, and it's fun to come off of this. If we had done a podcast about it right day of, it would have been this like everything is melting and burning show. But there has been significant balance changes when it comes to One Wasteland, which essentially what they've done is if you are level 1, they have made most of the it's not even really scaled for beginner players. It's more scaled for players that have been playing a while to be able to play with beginners and it still be a challenge. I think it hasn't been. I think it's like experienced player minded, and that's kind of where they came from because they're like, oh, Jimmy Two Shoes over in the side of the creek, he may play Fallout 76, but Donna Summerfield that lives in Berkeley, I mean, she may not play it, and if they want to get in together. Jimmy Two Shoes is going to be running over every enemy, while Donna Summer living in Berkeley, she's just going to be, trotting along trying to do her best by the creek.
Just
if you
like
got
that, an
then-
off-Broadway musical has been born.
An off-Broadway musical, yeah. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys and see what your reactions initially were and where you have kind of landed in at this moment. Things may change. Spice of life, you may wake up one morning a little crummy, but the next day you're feeling pretty good. So what was your initial reaction? What's your reaction now?
Initially, I was like, oh God, why? And then I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, my bloody melee was really, really, really nerfed in comparison to everything else. Some players actually reported that post-patch they were doing better damage, ironically enough. The problem was the way it was before. If you had overpowered gear like endgame god tier armor, and a rare god tier weapon, then for the most part you could one-shot anything if your build wasn't completely optimized, which mine really wasn't. So after that nerf, it became really important for me to fix my build. So I had some help doing that. And now I can still one shot kill most everything. And ironically enough, I'm actually doing better damage, even with my melee cards, using the same bloodied explosive plasma that I was before, which is kind of odd, but it just works. So I understand the rebalance. I think it reintroduces a little bit of threat that maybe didn't exist. So you kind of lose the challenge. It became very casual. The other thing that they did drop was that updated patch this week to fix the level scaling for players that are approaching kind of the middle point where it becomes really difficult. So they're still making tweaks to the system to really perfect it. But I think it was a good thing. It made it a little less casual, where there's some more threat, especially if like the first time I played, I was killed the first night by level 100 bees, not like the honey beast, like just a swarm of bees. And then I'm in my Pip-Boy, and then like a tick came at me like a freight train, and then just one shot ruined me, and then just feasted on me for like an hour.
You can hit the respawn button. You don't just have to lay there while it feasts on your corpse.
You know what? I consider myself part of the circle of life. It's part of my role play.
Right.
we don't kink shame on this show.
That's good.
Oh, so you enjoyed it? Okay, I didn't realize. I thought you were complaining, but I get you. Okay.
Look, Tom, we've been inside for a long time, and beggars can't be choosers.
This is the only physical interaction I've been able to get. Just leave me alone.
So Tom, I know you kind of play a mid-ground part. So what's been your experience?
Mm-hmm. I like it. I think that it is a better. It is for the best. There are some people who have responded and said, I'm so casual and I don't want to optimize my build, and now the enemies are all hard and it's hard to do stuff. And I get that. Like, I totally get that that's a thing. I think that you can tweak the system to address some of that and make that work better for some people. I think that in the long run, I would recommend having certain zones that don't scale continually upwards, and other zones, and the majority of the zones do. So, for example, some of the areas that you go to first in the forest when you're a very low level player, maybe those only scale to a certain point. Maybe you hit early level ghouls and scorched in the Morgantown airport area only scale to level 20, 25 or something like that. So you could still go, kill a bunch of them, pick up their stuff, and loot their corpses and whatever, or you could build things in the area. You don't have to worry about having to deal with high level enemies that you are constantly attacking your camp or whatever, right? I think that's probably a wise choice, and I'm sure that they could make that adjustment with some taking some time to really tweak it. For me personally, I went from being able to my build was traditionally a sneaky sniper build for my just general PvE, going through doing quests and stuff, slash melee for when like, oh no, the gig's up, they found me, and then I would hit things as they ran at me, and that still worked. I didn't see too much of a difference in the effectiveness of my weapons. I have to be a little bit more careful to sneak now. I think that things are able to see me easier than they were before. So if anything, I'm not single shotting things because they notice me sooner rather than me getting all of my bonuses for hitting them while I was sneaking. But maybe there's some other tweaks I can make to my build to do that. But because of the whole Spec Ops, Black Ops, Daily Ops thing, I've been doing more of that kind of stuff and being in groups with people. So it really hasn't mattered to do the whole sneaky sniper thing. So on a whole, I think it's fine. I think I've continued to just kind of evolve my character. I wasn't too built out into any one type of build to feel like, oh crap, now I got to scrap that and go somewhere else. I've just continued to upgrade and get more of the cards to kind of focus in on where I want to be. I think what I'm eventually going to end up doing, and I just downloaded the mod that allows you to just kind of save perk card loadouts, because it's going to be a pain in the butt to go through and move my perk cards around every time I want to do them. It's one of the reasons why I haven't done a whole lot of building in camps, is because I haven't wanted to like pull all my perk cards away out of other things and put them into the things for building, or take them out of the ammo stuff or put them into the ammo stuff. Like I haven't done a whole lot of that because of just the, inventory management of it. But I think what I'm eventually going to do is end up with just different perk card loadouts for different things. I'll have my build stuff. I'll have my PvE solo stuff. I'll have my grouping with other people doing the daily ops setup, and I'll just kind of spec for what it is I want to go do. I'll have like a power armor setup. I'll have a non-power armor setup. I'll just kind of go with each one. And
it'll be great in the future too, which I think may come next year. They talked about doing perk card loadouts.
They have been talking, and this is, this is a mini soapbox in the plot. They've been talking about perk loadouts since like QuakeCon 2019. They've been talking about this for a while, and my friends on PC, they're very lucky to have the unofficial mod to be able to change that on the fly. Because let me tell you something, I anticipated that we would eventually get perk card loadouts, and so I am perked to do melee, I am perked to do shotguns, I am perked to do heavy guns, I'm perked to be a medic on a team, I am perked to be a tank on a team. I have so many perks that like they should just call me the coffee shop that they had in Friends.
They should call me the coffee shop they had in Friends.
Is that Central Perk? Yeah, Central Perk. Yeah, that's me.
No, I think they should call you by your full name, the coffee shop they had in Friends.
And Friends. So that's my. I will now pull down my soapbox respectfully and stick my nose up at those gentlemen.
Actually, we do have a soapbox coming up, so maybe you could leave it out for Ken, because he's gonna have to climb on that anyway.
The thing with this update and the thing that I'm getting, when I first started playing, I think the first 20 levels were some of my favorite Fallout experiences, rivaling any games. I think the first 20 levels are fantastic because you're in this world. You don't know what to do. You're like scavenging for food constantly because you don't know when you're going to find your next like pack of, salted ham or whatever kind of thing you're going to eat. Ammo, it's like you were using 6 guns at one time because you just, things break. You don't really want to fix them because you don't have enough resources to. There's like the scarcity to it that I really liked. And I wish that's not the experience that I think a lot of people want. That's the experience that I like.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I've started multiple characters. Right. Is I like that feeling of like, oh crap, am I going to find another good weapon? And then you only hold on to it for like 5 or 10 levels because you level up and eventually you find something better. But yeah, that feeling of like, I've got mismatched armor and I don't even have a right arm armor right now because I haven't found one and I can't make it,
That's when I play Fallout 4. That's generally how I mod it, is to be like, it is a post-apocalyptic for a reason, and I am going to be scavenging every second of every time, just because that's the game that I like to play. But so I like the update. Nothing really changed for me. Like, no, I kind of suspected that bloody builds were going to be gone, or they were going to have to tweak them a bunch to get them to work. It seemed like a lot of people just tweaked theirs a little bit and got them to work again. And I run a junkies build, so it didn't really matter. Non-explosive, like I wasn't using a quote unquote magic weapon or anything. I was in power armor, so from my perspective, I think it was more geared towards somebody who casually was into the build scenario. I think that those people kind of benefited from it, unless you were really putting a lot of stuff into Bloodied. I think that if you were really running Bloodied, which the majority of the community, the like actual like high level community was kind of rolling at, nothing really changed. But as I like to put that gif of Pete Hines out, everything has changed. Which is you would expect Taylor Swift, but no, your number 4 result is Pete Hines saying it. I did want to, I'm going to pull it up here real quick, talk about some of the community responses that we had. And I believe that, again, Craig is going out. So once he goes out, I will ask him back in.
Now recording.
There he goes. He's right back to it. Here we go. Here's a good response from I think this is Mothman's Ranger, but he likes to change his name. So this is the Mothman Salesman. He said that I enjoy the update, and at first it seemed really awful, but now the legendary perks are here, and it actually balances out the enhanced difficulty added by one Wasteland. But I still think that it shouldn't be a normal game mode. So the community is essentially saying there should be multiple, and this is what I've also thought, there should be multiple game modes based on the experience that you want. I think that there is a subsection, it's like understanding your audience, I think, a little bit, because I think there's a subsection that use this game and have this game to just like hang out. And that, I mean, Ken, that's kind of what you've been doing on your Friday nights, where it's just like, oh, we're all hanging out, we're all playing a game. You've got your, I mean, the like really, I say professional, but what is professional? You got the really like talented players of this game helping out other people, but it's all just about hanging out and sticking out. And so I think that there was a lot of groups that really didn't have anybody that was like focusing on that. It was more like, oh, look at this cool thing I got at my camp. Like people were playing it a lot like Animal Crossing, which has always been my thing. And what my wife has always said when she played Animal Crossing, she was like, this is just a less fun version of Fallout 76. You put things in your camp, and they come and look at them, and they're like, "Oh, great! You got a dead dog head on your wall. That's cool." So I think that I think they're right in that the experience should be able to be tailored towards, especially with private servers. We haven't seen any real functionality out of private servers. Like, there's no, other than it just being your own personal server to play as you want, but there hasn't been really any added functionality to increase difficulty, to increase anything. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean, we play it casually just to hang out together, but I think there's a danger of making what is essentially a survival in a post-apocalyptic world so much of an experience that is free of any kind of consequences, where you're just kind of building and hanging out and there's nothing that's going to kill you. You lose the identity of what Fallout is, which I think could cause some issues with the brand. I think they're trying to do a really nice balance between the game that is a social game for many, and something that is still with the kind of risk reward that you get with Fallout. So I think it's kind of a balancing act. I don't know if we need another mode. What I would like to see, I think that people would be happy with, is just have a free build mode where you could, because we're getting that essentially with the PTS. Where like a creative mode for Minecraft. Like if you wanted to experiment with building a camp, you could actually bring that into the world when you're done with it. You could just kind of hang out in there and build just to experiment and play around. I think that would make a lot of sense, especially considering how important camp building has become to this game, like how big it really is. The atomic shop items I think that really sell, and I could be wrong, are a lot of really camp items, maybe versus some other things. But those are the things that people get really excited about, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they have to be careful not to create too many different game modes or they divide the player base. But having the ability to do something like creative mode on your own private server, I think would be totally fine, because then you could build up your server. You could have other people join your server. They could place their camps. You guys could just go nuts with building things and having fun and, not worrying about scaling and difficulty and those kinds of things. Play it how you want. And then still join public servers when you want and play with other people without adjusting the public servers, which is where the majority of people are playing the game.
Right.
Or at least I would assume that's where the majority of people are playing the game.
Yeah. Firerider had a nice response on the Discord, but I want to kind of piecemeal it here and pull out essentially, like a lot of people came into this, they were mad, and then they kind of took a few days and were like, okay, maybe I can fix a few things, but came out and it's like, okay, I'm okay with this, but this is what she wrote. She said, I still think the changes need work. The mid-level people are having really tough time, and that's going to be a real turnoff to anyone new to the game. We need new people for this game to survive. I also still stand by my statement that I prefer to, quote, earn an easier mode in new areas of the game. If the game constantly levels with you, there's less reward for improving and increasing the power of your character. I think that I like that response. I think that it adds into this, like there needs to be a balance between what is the game that they want, what is Fallout as a brand, what's the level of difficulty that people are good with. Because I mean, when I was a kid and things got too hard in Morrowind, I would just type press the tilde key and type TGM and press enter, and then you're all daisies and glory.
Let's go.
Clapping and capping. Because Morrowind combat's impossible.
That's why I bounced off it the first time I played it years ago. I was like, why can't I hit the rat? I can't hit the rat.
I'll do one more from Waterfalls of the Desert. Says, I think giving an open sandbox camp building mode may be a good gesture. If there are people that really don't want to deal with the difficulty of combat, have a completely isolated mode equivalent to a creative mode in Minecraft. There are no enemies or NPCs, but you get full unlimited resources to build. Some people really like building. You might even track that just because of the build mode. I agree. I think that's smart. And UXO guy in chat right now says they need a true customization private server.
Agreed. Yeah.
I think that's actually the solution, is that when you go to your private server, have a bunch of toggles that you can toggle on and off and allow you to set up and play the game how you want. Just the same way that you would mod your own Fallout 4 in order to, like, I want it to be more survival, so I'm going to use this mod, or I want it to be just crazy and be able to build things everywhere, so I'm going to mod it like that. If people can do that with their own private servers, then you're giving people who want to customize it what they want, and then you're still able to keep the public servers built around, a very specific type of gameplay where you are involving multiple people all in a world. And now you've got a standard and you have all the customized deviations. Kind of solves it for everyone. Now, that's, of course, easier to say than do. You would have to implement all of this. But,
we're just talking in theoretical terms, obviously.
You know what? I've been thinking about this too. I wonder if the reason that mods haven't come sooner is because it could prove to be really difficult to do on Amazon Web Services. And maybe now with Microsoft coming on board, they can run their own servers. Because Jeff Gardner had talked about some challenges that they've had with Amazon Web Services, where if something happens with the game, it's not really their fault. There are some issues on the Amazon end of things.
They should now, everything is in OneDrive now. And you go to your files in OneDrive.
That's true, though, because, if the, like... To Amazon Web Services, you are a customer just like any other customer. But for Microsoft,
there's tons of costs. There's tons of websites and services and everything that you web service.
Right, but if you're a company that's part of Microsoft, then not only are you getting access to Microsoft servers theoretically, but you also are getting them at cost rather than at markup because you're paying externally for it. So you can probably play with that a little bit more. Plus, theoretically, and of course all of this is theoretically, the engineers who work on those servers are now part or can be pulled into your team in order to help advise the best way to implement code in order to work best on the servers or whatever. So of course that's all theoretical, but there is potential for more harmonious working between the two teams in a setup like that.
Yeah.
Theoretically, legendary weapons that are two-shot should actually have two shots, and they should do the same damage as they did when we started. And I just really want my two-shot explosive shotgun back. We're kind of running a little low on time, so there's plenty of other great responses in our Discord, in the Robots Radio Discord. That's where I asked.
And in the live chat, which is why you guys should be here for our live chat.
Guys should be here. It's always fun. It's always a great time. Gentlemen, do you have any other thoughts on One Way? Or do you feel like this horse is good and beaten?
Yes,
you beat the horse.
That's a beaten. That's a real beaten one right there. Oh yeah, down there, little salad gone down there and beat the horse. Right.
I have no idea what we're talking about. I'm ready to move on. Let's do it.
So we've been dancing around the subject. We've been dancing on this the whole time. I pulled out a small one. We had all this feedback on One Wasteland, but it's finally time. The moment that we've all been waiting for here today. Let's pull out the Abraxo box finally. Kenneth, I'm going to give you the honor and the distinguished guest of honor for the Abraxo box. So take it away, my good friend.
This week, I'm going to be reading the Abraxo box as Niall Huffington III of the Long Island Huffingtons, who is currently sitting at the country club expressing his distaste for the plebeians in Fallout 76 and their way of playing in Midweek. Character. For the love of God, please learn how to Midweek. I cannot believe it. I just played in the first Midweek session for this week and everyone forgot how to win. During the countdown, I was the solitary person on a spit, and nobody was banging on the drums for the whole 2 minutes. Everybody else was just running and jumping around like boiled chickens with their heads still on.
Is that that's not even... keep going.
Excuse me.
Tom,
Even
don't test them.
Want to stay on a spit or drums for the love of all that is holy, get on them during the countdown. Also, please, for the courtesy of everyone, put out fires and clean up messes. I watched as our progress bar trickled down, but then it would raise, then go down again. There were more than enough players to complete the event, but it was as if everyone forgot how to play it. Needless to say, we did not win that event. Concierge and character.
Sorry to interrupt you there. I pulled a debate move. I didn't mean to do that.
We're getting political.
Hey, both sides do that, so it's not one side or the other. Just being fair. You guys like what? I don't understand why. Okay, I'm getting up on the soapbox now.
Oh my God! Here we go.
I don't understand. Why does this person care this much about this? To write a thing? I just don't get it. I don't get it.
You must be new to the Fallout 76 subreddit.
I don't get it.
No. 95%
no.
of the messages on there are like, why aren't you playing my way?
Oh yeah, I mean I get it, but at the same time, it's have you never played an online game with other human beings? This is what people do. This is why everyone's don't do a public dungeon in World of Warcraft. It's gonna be crappy, because this is just how it goes, and it's just a roll of the dice. some people show up for events and they don't do anything because they just want to let everyone else do the work, and then they get the credit for being there because humans are humans. And some people are brand new to the game and they don't know how it works, and so they're just ignorant because they haven't done it before. And so that maybe that was their first time. Yeah, like I get it. You're in a public server. This is what happens in public servers. This is why we can't have nice things. This is humans. Humans do this. This is people. Like, surprise. Like, I don't know.
I do want to give credit to the anonymous Reddit poster of this, because oftentimes when I look in increments of time, and so like generally I put it to like a week or a month and just search for rants, and a lot of people would be like, here's my rant about Meek Week, and the first line would be like, they need to get on the spit. It's terrible. And that's it. And that's probably worth the effort of a public post on a public forum. But, like, hey guys, if you're doing Meat Week, make sure you're on the spit. It helps everybody win. Okay, thanks, bye. Right? But that's clickbait. If they're saying, hey, I've got a rant, and then they're just saying, get on the spit, I'm like, that's not a rant.
That's not a rant. No, that's just good advice for somebody doing the thing who hasn't done it before. Make sure you get on the spit. Here you go. That's helpful. Like that's helpful. If I was reading that and hadn't done it before, I'd be like, oh, I need to make sure I'm on the thing when I do it. Okay, now I know. Go into the game, be more successful. Congratulations. Paragraphs. That's the part that I'm on my soapbox about. Like if that's the thing that you are concerned about and are willing to spend time thinking about and writing paragraphs about and being upset about, then you are not paying attention to what's actually happening in the world right now, because there are a lot more things to be upset about that you can write paragraphs about. That's
very true. And then the fact that people post rants on Reddit, the people that, like, you got to think of the people who were looking at the Fallout 76 subreddit. They're most likely people that kind of understand the basics of what's going on in the game, or at least want to know before they try stuff out. And it's like, this isn't for anybody here. This isn't. Nobody. Everybody's gonna read this and are gonna. That's the case. That happened. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we get it. We know. But my the advice of everyone needs to get on the spit is only applicable if you're playing small town high school baseball and you have a coach that's a little lenient and wants you to use some spit tobacco. That's how you get in well and get on the starter team. I wouldn't recommend it because that is cancerous, but when you are playing in a town that's stuck in the 1960s, that's how I would recommend.
You're speaking from
is also a VHS tape that your dad throws out eventually. That has a peeling off label. It's best to just leave that in the trash.
I would say so.
You guys sound like you're speaking from actual experience.
Hey, I learned the hard way. We've been inside for a very long time, and beggars can't be choosers.
Come hit my body like a freight train, Tick. I need another one.
All I want in this world is a little tick.
And
all
I
the songs
for you to get on the spit.
I'm not contributing. I'm not taking this to the next stage of the song. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm out.
First time. Come on.
I'm out.
We set you up. Like, there was an assist happening, and you could have scored the goal. You could have taken us all the way to start a podcast.
I cannot argue that this song is lit.
There. Well done.
All right. I'm done. I'm never doing that again. I'm out of the band. Or at least I'm not singing. I'm just going to go back to my mouth harp.
That's a less effective sound effect than the coal miner thing. I'm just throwing that one
out there. Well, excuse me, what?
And on the drums is Robot's Star.
Robot Star. All right, guys. I think we're kind of I think we're done. I think we're done with this episode.
Yeah, we're done with it. Yeah, we are. It's good. It's good and done.
We started with like a silliness of like a 11 out of 10. I think we're up to maybe 15. I think we're cooked.
Poopy porpoise now.
Yeah. We're cooked. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody, on the live stream, and those of you listening through your ear holes on whatever podcatcher you use, or maybe watching on the YouTube channel. And thanks for being here, guys. Do you have any anything to talk about to wrap stuff up? Anything cool happening? Any news?
I've got an episode of Geography Arcade out that talks about Morrowind. That's an alternate reality that those two are connected, Fallout and Elder Scrolls. That I talked with Aramithius on. We talked about the world of Morrowind, and that was exciting. And you will learn how a philosophy professor that really loved Arnold Schwarzenegger fits into that story when you listen to the episode of Geography.
Yeah, and so you guys know Aramithius is the host of Written Uncertainty, which is a Elder Scrolls lore podcast. Similar to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, but he goes much more deeper into very specific topics. So it's less introductory and more very, very deep lore concept type stuff. So
if there was a PhD,
if you're into that, go listen to it.
If there was a PhD he would have it.
Yeah, people like to call him the professor of Elder Scrolls lore. And he talks about like real world philosophy and religions and how those things play into all of that stuff. So yeah, go check that out if you're interested. But listen to Dave's Geography Arcade first, and then you'll get a little primer on some wackiness in Morrowind.
A lot of whacktacular things happen in the wacky tobacco land.
Wacky tobacco land. Ken, what do you have going on?
We are now in final editing for part 1 of season 2. And while Christian is working on that, I'm writing part 2, and then also our Halloween special, which is going to be something really special. It's our take on Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes. It's one of my favorite Ray Bradbury stories. The tone of that fits our characters well and fits the Fallout 76 world really well. So I'm really looking forward to that. There's a London actor who's going to be voicing the lead role of Mr. Dark. So we got that going on. It's quite exciting.
Nice.
And we're also, towards the end of the month, and we can talk about that next time, we'll be doing some cool stuff for Halloween. We've got a whole week of fun activities planned, streams and content and stuff.
I often think about the Halloween, I think it was 2, where they had, it was not the Michael Myers one, but they had...
I think it was the third one.
Third one, yeah. 8 more days till Halloween. 8 more days till Halloween. Halloween. Silver Shamrock. Wear the mask.
Yeah, and we've got some cool stuff going on around the network too. Some of the shows are going to be swapping for the end of the month episodes. So we'll have, stay tuned for that. We're still in discussions about who's going to be swapping with who, but you will see some hosts popping up in other people's shows and doing versions of the other shows. So we're kind of playing dress up with each other's podcasts, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for more news about that.
We will be doing it with Fresh Tomatoes. So the cast and I are going to be doing a horror drive-in episode. Fresh Tomatoes on the Robots Network is a show that does reviews, that tries to be a little balanced about the world's worst movies, some of which are mainstream movies and some of them not so much. I will be subjecting the cast to a 1977 movie called The Deathbed, The Bed That Eats. It is the worst horror movie
that's great.
you have ever seen. Like the effects for this are just something else.
Worse than the tire that murders people.
That's another.
You seen that one?
Yeah, that's good.
That's another one.
You know, everyone. I have friends that are trying to get me to watch that. I literally have my tattoo art. Like, hey, have you seen me a trailer of the tire murder? I'm like, I guess I gotta watch the tire movie.
Fenwa in chat,
it's pretty dumb.
You're gonna have to join us for that drive-in episode because this movie is gonna be something else.
Yeah, and they'll be doing their own version of a Chad story of some sort. Yep. So they're going to put something together.
Chad and Simone are going to be in Appalachia.
So yeah, there's going to be some swapping going on. So stay tuned for that stuff. I've been so one of the things I've done is I've started office hours for after my live shows. So I have Mondays, the Fallout Lorecast, and most of the shows are at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So what I'll do is I'll have like the regular episode of the show, and then after the show, I'll spend a half an hour or so doing office hours, which means if any of you guys are interested in creating your own content, whether it's podcasts or YouTube videos or streaming or whatever, and you're looking for some advice advice to get started, or you've already been doing something and want to improve it, or want, some marketing questions about how to get it out there and get more people to be able to listen to it, anything like that, I'm opening up the opportunity for you guys to come by the stream. You're always welcome to come by for the show, but then stay afterwards for office hours. So that's Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays in the evenings. And that's at twitch.tv/robotsradio. And I'll probably be playing video games too. So lots of fun there in Fallout 76, running around the wasteland doing wacky stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, Wandering Wastelander and I were knocking out some just under time daily ops, and it was so close, and it was so much fun. So come hang out with me. All right, guys. Yeah, I think that's it. So until next time, friends. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't have a good exit for this one. Until next time, make sure that you are
on the Great Space Coaster.
On the Great Space Coaster, optimizing your legendary perk cards, and keep on singing
songs.
Keep on singing the songs. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Everyone do the Dave wave.